Three, two, one. Welcome to the SaaS Pulse Show. My name is Michael Bertoni, and I'm the founder and CEO of SaaS Talent. And I am so excited today. I have a Philly founder, Kensington, man. He's tough. He is tough. I've got Sam Goetz. He is the founder of Stemmer, which is a white label AI music mastering service. Did we do that okay? Sam, was that good?
You hit the nail on the head, Michael.
Hit the nail on the head. Nice. So it's great to have you on the show, Sam.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so this thing seems really cool. I mean, everybody dreams of probably producing a song, right? So what I always like to start with is your superhero backstory. So everybody has a superhero backstory, and I checked yours out. I mean, you're UD, University of Delaware, right? You're an engineer, you're a music engineer, but I want to hear it from you. What's your superhero backstory? What led you to Stemmer?
Well, yeah, I had the dreams of producing songs myself before I even went to University of Delaware. But I never knew what I wanted to do. I never really knew what career path. I didn't even want a career, honestly. None of it sounded enticing. So I decided to try and be a professional music producer. So I started working, I was from New Jersey originally, South Jersey, but I got a job fresh out of high school. I got a job as an audio engineer at a studio in Philadelphia. And the music industry is a mess. So I quit that. It seemed like a dead end. I didn't see signs of success. So I thought I was going to quit music industry for good when I enrolled in the University of Delaware for mechanical engineering. But I got involved in the entrepreneurship programs at UD, and they started to tell us that as an entrepreneur, you should solve a problem. So I realized, the music industry is riddled with problems. Definitely. Let me start this thing out by trying to solve problems for audio engineers that I was dealing with. And that's just how my business started when I woke up one night and realized, it's such a pain in the neck that all my old clients are asking me for their audio files, their STEM files, years after I quit being their audio engineer. Let me build something to solve this. And Stemmer's pivoted a million times since then in 2020, but that is the origin.
Nice. So you're solving a problem for engineers. So describe to the audience, try to be as succinct as possible. If you're not, I'll help you. What is your product? What's the value proposition?
Great. Stemmer makes songs sound radio ready. Somebody records a song at home in their bedroom, it doesn't sound good, upload it to Stemmer and it sounds good. But the value proposition is I white label this technology. So any business who doesn't know how to program, or any influencer who has an audience they're trying to monetize, they can sell AI mastering to their audience. And we can fine tune the algorithm to anybody, to their style if they like it.
Nice. So what's the use case typically? So what I like to say, one of my clients actually drilled it into me, is the ICP, or the ideal customer profile. So I know it's been all over the map, but who do you think is your ideal customer?
The end user of Stemmer is anybody who records a song, any of the 20, 30 million people who record songs on their phone or at home. But my business model is white labeling this technology. So I try to find websites that have traffic of these music artists who maybe don't know how to code, or they're not that technical. They might be music blogs or people selling other services to music artists. And I say, hey, do you want to offer AI mastering without having to code anything? Here you go. You're going to print money. And so will we. So I make money when my white labelers make money.
Interesting. I mean, so have you, and I mean, I'd love to help you with this or just talk to you about it. So your foreseeable market, I mean, is it music producers? Is it, so, I mean, I'm still trying to get the customer exactly. So you're enabling someone to white label your service. you obviously would love it if everyone or a lot of people thought, I need to master this. I want to get my tune out there. I want to get my song out there. So have you done research on your market in terms of what you think it is?
There are millions of end users, and the market is huge for music producers and music creators who want to master their songs with AI. But I'm not targeting them directly because there's a saturated market of people offering AI mastering.
Mhm.
So my target market are I really don't, I'm learning how big the market will be of people who would white label this technology. So who has an audience of music creators? A music blog. How many music blogs are there? I don't know. But that's a great example of my ICP.
You know what's great, Sam? When you're young, let's figure it out, right? I mean, so
Yeah,
it's great. Let's let your audience, let's let your community, let's let listeners here that are listening. Let's help Sam, right? Let's help Sam. I mean, so he's got a really cool product that works. Explain to me if I have something and I upload it to the portal, right? If I have some type of song that I created, give me the process. How does it work?
good question. So if you upload a song to a portal, a stemmer widget, um, we it automatically adjusts the equalization of your song to sound professional. It adjusts the the stereo width of your song to sound ideal. And it also, most importantly, makes the song louder to sound ideal. So that's what happens to your song. It's sort of like the finishing touches. It doesn't completely transform it, but it makes these finishing touches.
I love it, man. What about Spotify, right? Exit right to Spotify. So what about so this podcast, when I create this MP4, MP3, say I want to make it sound better. Can I put it through Stemmer?
We'll make it sound louder. It won't go in and like a lot of some of these, it won't go in and edit your voice, isolate your voice. It doesn't really do that, but it'll sound louder if you upload it to podcast. And you probably won't, maybe you want that. Most people
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, because I've heard of recently actually, so everything that it takes to make something radio ready, or so all these people that produce songs. One of the things that I always think is actually it stinks or it sucks is everything seems so produced, right? It's like, oh my God, this is so produced, but it has to be produced. So what does that mean? So explain that to the audience, like something that's produced. Nobody's ever explained that to me. So when I'm listening it on the radio or whatever, what does it mean that something's highly produced?
That's a great question. The biggest thing it actually probably means is has to do with the loudness, that somebody went in. First of all, it also probably means there's a lot of electronic sounds instead of recorded instruments. There might be a lot of synthesized sounds you hear.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when something says something's really produced, it means there were probably a lot of audio effects on the song, like lots of auto tune and reverb and echoes. But also somebody went in and made sure that this song, every moment of this song sounds as loud as humanly possible. And it's to trick the listener, actually, because when you hear something that's louder, you perceive it as better. And
Right.
it's caused a lot of controversy in the music industry, actually.
So what I always try to figure out when I think, because my limited knowledge of music, when I think of mixing and mastering, I'm thinking I sing some song, and then there's obviously we add a drum beat, or we add, like, I don't know, a triangle, or we add, basically there's. So is that also mixing? It's not. It's just making the quality of the actual sound.
And unfortunately, these terms get confusing. When when somebody says producing, sometimes they mean the act of adding instruments, especially virtual instruments like on a
Mhm.
computer.
Right.
That the act of adding sounds, adding musical sounds is often called producing. But the act of making whatever song you made, just the finishing touches and making it sound clear and radio quality, that's called mixing and mastering. So mixing and mastering is not adding components to adding sounds to your song. It's more so adding the finishing effects.
Nice. Amazing. So really, really cool. So in terms of the market right now, what do you feel like sets your product apart? I mean, there's other products in the market. Why should somebody get Stemmer? Like, what's your unique value proposition?
Great question. And I haven't even brought it up yet because it's a little nuanced. But there are a few white label AI mastering companies out there, and they're all good. What's special about Stemmer is we can approach a famous artist, an influencer, let's say Drake. We could approach Drake and offer to clone the way he masters his songs and turn that into his Stemmer widget. So we can enable any artist to sell their own mastering clone to their fans. And
Wow,
as of now, nobody's offering that yet.
that's amazing. We got to say that again. I kind of lightly heard that. You know, when like 10% like goes, it's like it like flew over my head. Say that one more time. So that last part of what you said for the audience and just for yourself, like what's the value prop to Drake? Hey, let's pitch Drake. Ready to go? Come on, Drake.
Okay, so we can clone a celebrity artist's sound. We can clone Drake's sound into an AI mastering widget that he can sell to his audience.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it goes into kind of licensing here. I mean, so say you wanted to clone someone's sound for someone else. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just to me, it's just we're going down a rat hole, right? But so you've been in business. I saw 3 years, 9 months. So are you generating revenue? Like, are you making money? What does that look like? I was trying to figure like, how do you make money? How does that work?
Good question. We are generating revenue. This new pivot, this new product, I only launched on October 31st.
Nice.
But yeah, we're generating revenue. Not a whole ton, but it's a very simple business model as far as the end users. You upload a song to whoever's Stemmer widget, and if you like it, you pay $5 to $10 to download the full version of the song.
Nice.
Yep. And as far as my white label business model, it's really simple. White labelers do not have to pay me anything. All we do is a 50-50 revenue split. And
Nice.
I didn't even realize this, but we've been doubling the amount of white labelers making money with Stemmer for like 4 months straight now.
Cool. Yeah, a couple ideas I have for you. I'll just tell them while you're on here. So I saw a couple posts on Reddit that you should answer.
Okay.
Right. I literally saw like I did a search on Google, just like AI mastering. And basically there was like a question on Reddit. Hey, what are the best AI mastering tools out there? And like, so yeah, so check that out. And then I just kind of am really gotten hammered on SEO. So the other thing is like SEO keywords. Like, I mean, it just didn't seem like there were many people like using, you know, like I'm looking, you know, AI music master, you know, like I'm just letting you know. So I saw that and I thought you could immediately kind of answer the Reddit questions at least. But over the last few years, what have been your biggest challenges? Like, so top 2 or 3 biggest challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them?
Staying motivated. And that challenge was so bad that I actually quit this business twice.
Wow.
Yeah, I literally announced everybody I'm quitting. But what happened was after I had quit and I really emotionally detached myself from what I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
I ended up being able to look at myself from a very sober third party perspective and just say, oh, like, for example, oh, look, he was trying to do all this marketing, all this sales, and mix these songs back when we were mixing songs manually. Like, he should have just delegated the mixing work, or just delegated. So, and then again, something else happened the other time when I tried to quit, where so that's how now what I do when I'm like struggling to make a strategic decision or even feeling unmotivated is I just step back and look at myself from like a bird's eye point of view, and it helps me emotionally detach and really see myself.
I love it, man. Mr. Maturity over here. So I'm like, I just turned 50. And like that was like the most mature statement I've heard. Like, I emotionally detach from myself. Like, there is a military guy, like a big YouTuber military guy, that said basically you're looking down the barrel of a gun. He's like, you're like, you got to like step back and like look at the situation. I forget who it was, but like I totally get it. Like, you got to like step outside. I got to do the same thing, just to be honest with you. So, in terms of just talent for your organization, people for your organization, I saw that you had yourself and I think a co-founder. How do you look at talent? What type of talent do you have on your team? And what does that look like for you?
Good question. So I actually just made one of my first talent acquisitions, and it didn't work out the first time. But in terms of stepping back and looking at myself, and I try to look at myself more as a steward of this business instead of trying to force my will upon it. I just see this business that exists, and it's my responsibility to steward it. And I saw, again, I've proven out a sales process now at this point with my white labeling. I've proven it out. It's repeatable. But I got so caught up, like I'm so busy doing everything. So I decided to get a sales representative, business development
Right.
representative. So I think the first time I posted something on an ad on LinkedIn, not an ad, a listing, and then got somebody, didn't work out with them. And then I also posted on a music industry job board called Roster.
Mm-hmm.
And this one gentleman named Juan, and he's actually from Colombia.
Oh, nice.
He applied both times, and he was pretty talented, and he's already gotten started and has just started succeeding today.
Nice. Hey, congratulations. Yeah, that's where my team is in Colombia, in
Cool.
Medellin, actually. So I actually have a couple referrals for you. So, couple things just to jot down. So Rec Philly.
Yep. I used to be a member.
Oh my gosh. So Rec Philly on Saturdays would have this team of like 15 people when they were early on, and they hadn't started Rec Philly yet, like as the like co-working space, and they'd have like 15 people that came and were salespeople for them. I was like, do you guys pay any of these people? Like, this is amazing. Like, it was amazing because they were all like trying to find artists. So Rec Philly is a great is a great referral for you. I actually have some other ones. An advisor of mine, this guy named Will Mellinger, he mixes music. He is like so smart, man. He lives in South Jersey. Yeah, man. I mean, like, so I'm gonna give you a couple referrals. So last question here, and then it's been great. It's been an awesome show. So advice. So advice for early stage SaaS and tech founders. What are your 2 or 3 biggest pieces of advice? I think you kind of already said some of these things. I love it. But what's your biggest piece of advice that you would give the startup founders?
Number one, all advice is out of context. I see stuff on the internet. People say stuff directly to me or indirectly. I take it to heart, and it was just out of context for my specific needs. So I'll preface with that, and that is my piece of advice. Second one is to solve a problem with your business. It's a lot easier than trying to make something cool or a vitamin, or try and solve a painkiller problem. And the last piece of advice, which is really literally the core learning I've had over these 4 years, I keep relearning this piece of advice. But at least for me, building is always a mistake. whether that's building systems or coding things. Usually sales is what I need to be doing, because let's say you have an app idea, and once you spend, like I wasted the old version of Summer 7 months, say you spend 7 months coding something or more because you're going to get caught up. What do you have to do after you build it? You have to sell it. So you're going to have to sell whatever you want anyways, no matter what. And that's actually the hard part. That's where I think a lot of people fail, and where I failed a lot. So point is, for me, it's always a mistake to build things, whether it's systems or tech. It's always better to find a minimum viable product, or just forget about that. It's just better to sell instead of build.
I love it. Gosh, Sam, how old are you, Sam?
25.
Jeez, man, I just turned 50. And Sam said two mature things to me that I actually took away. First, you said, so sometimes I don't solve a problem, right? I solve a problem. Like, so, gosh, great stuff, man. Some great nuggets in this show. I am so impressed, actually. I've interviewed a bunch of people that are like younger, and I'm just like, oh my God, I was a mess when I was 25. But so Sam, stick around here. This is going to be great. We'll debrief here. But Sam, thanks for being on the show. This has been great, and looking forward to tracking your progress.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. It was a good time.
All right, good stuff. See ya.